So today, we're going to tackle the conflict that sits right at the heart of modern marketing, that constant battle between building a brand and driving sales. We're going to dive into a really powerful idea called performance branding, which honestly promises to end this tug of war for good. You know, every marketer on the planet has faced this question. Do you focus on the long game, building the brand, or do you got to hit this quarter's sales targets? It always feels like this impossible choice, right? A zero-sum game. But what if the question itself is the problem? What if the real answer to brand or sales is just yes? To really get why that one little word is such a breakthrough, we first have to look at the conflict that's defined marketing departments for decades. Let's call it the old marketing tug of war. Now, if you're in B2B marketing, this slide probably feels a little too real. It's that constant, honestly draining pressure between two totally opposite forces. Are you supposed to be building the brand for next year, or are you scrambling to hit your sales numbers for right now? And here's what that divide actually looks like. On one side of the rope, you've got brand marketing. It's all about the long game, building trust, fostering relationships, creating that lasting awareness. But on the other side, you've got performance marketing, which is laser-focused on the short term, generating leads, getting those clicks, and proving an immediate return on investment. For way too long, these have been treated like two completely separate, even warring worlds. But here's the thing. The smartest companies are realizing you don't actually have to choose. It's not about winning the tug of war. It's about just dropping the rope altogether. They're ending the conflict by building a bridge between these two functions. And that bridge, that's what we call performance branding. It's a strategy that's all about striking that perfect balance. It's about creating marketing that both generates immediate, measurable results and nurtures the long-term health and growth of your brand. It's about getting rid of the or and really leaning into the and. Okay, so how do you actually do this? Well, it really comes down to this powerful three-step framework. First, you leverage data, and not just to find any customer, but to truly understand and reach the right decision makers. Second, you use that connection to build genuine trust, positioning your business as an undeniable leader in your industry. And finally, here's the part that ties it all together. You drive results by connecting every single thing you do for your brand directly to tangible, measurable performance. Now, to really embrace this, it takes more than just a new strategy. It actually requires a massive shift in how you think about what a brand even is. And this is where things get really interesting. For the longest time, this was how everybody saw it. Branding was just another tool in the marketing department's toolbox. A nice to have maybe, but often seen as this soft cost center, totally separate from the real business of driving revenue. But that is not the world we live in anymore. The new reality is profoundly different. In today's incredibly crowded market, a strong brand is now understood to be a core corporate asset, something with real, measurable value that actively drives the performance of the entire company. And this quote just nails it perfectly. Branding has evolved from a marketing tool to a strategic asset that drives corporate performance. This is a huge shift. It takes the conversation about brand out of the marketing department and puts it squarely in the boardroom. A brand isn't just what you say anymore. It's an asset that makes your entire business more effective and, frankly, more valuable. Of course, you know what happens next, right? As soon as you start treating your brand like a performance driver, a huge new question pops up. How in the world do you actually measure its impact? And that is the next major challenge. And these are the key hurdles B2B marketers are facing right now. How do you align something kind of abstract like trust or reputation with concrete business goals? How do you measure that impact in a world that's just saturated with AI and data? It means you have to start advocating for totally new ways of looking at ROI, all while you're trying to balance that critical need for brand consistency with customizing it across a million different channels. It's a lot. But overcoming these challenges is absolutely essential. Why? Because it unlocks the ultimate prize for any business, achieving real, sustainable growth that actually lasts. This right here is the transformation we're talking about. It's about turning your brand from a static logo on a web page into a dynamic, powerful performance engine, an engine that tirelessly powers your company's long-term growth, even in the toughest B2B markets. Look, if you remember one thing from this explainer, make it this sentence. The false choice is over. The tug of war has ended. Good branding is good performance. Full stop. They are one and the same. So I'll just leave you with one final question to think about. Look at your own brand. Is it actively working for you, driving results, building value, powering performance? Or is it just kind of there?